Welcome to D&D Storytime with me, the Moogle, Mogulin Venus Butterfly, Kupo.
The High Road, Episode 2, Forest Witch.
The Hermit is being held above the ground by Garrus and Cleth's body. The party collectively is having a meltdown, and Cleth is yelling at the Hermit. He tries to calm everyone down.
We need to go somewhere private. We can't let everyone know. It'll cause a panic.
Wrath steps forward, Kupo. Lightning begins to flash across his scales, demanding the Hermit answer about what happened. Pixie notices a purple crystal in her inventory, Kupo. It messes with her head when she touches it, and she realizes, because of Star's mind, this is a torment fragment, Kupo, and it shouldn't be touched. She hears a strange whisper in the back of her mind and quickly drops it in the ritual circle near Captain Flowers. The party questions about it as a soft glow comes off the crystal and her. Cleth convinces the group to follow the Hermit to the nearby shop to discuss these events, Kupo. The group can remember the shop being an empty building, but also memories of it being the shop. As the party enters the shop, Kupo, the shopkeep speaks up.
Oh, sister, we have customers. Welcome to Patch's Emporium. What can we do for you today?
The party, still riled up from what happened, fights back the urge to kill Patches instantly, Kupo. Several of them recognize him from their real-world experiences, and hold some amount of grudge against him for his behavior in his original world. Through the hostility, Patches agrees to let them use the back room after Pixie gives him a kiss on the cheek, Kupo. Everyone still distrusts the Hermit, but listen to what he has to say as they question him, Kupo. It quickly becomes clear the Hermit is just a confused old newbie who has lived well past the years he should have.
She told me this ritual would help the heroes.
As far as the group can tell, it was Jessica's plan to isekai and send them on this journey alongside the heroes they created, but beyond that, everything remains a mystery, Kupo. With little choice, they begrudgingly decide to do as Jessica planned and travel the high road. The group decides not to wait for the Hermit to talk to Jessica when he offers to. As they exit the back room and see Patches again, they ask about his wares.
Well, everything. If it exists in this world, you can purchase it from me.
Deuce takes control to explain what Patches is about to those in the party who don't know. Patches offers the party rings, Kupo, instead of them paying with coin when Wrath attempts to purchase ball bearings. Nick freaks out, realizing what these rings can do, because it's only just a theory, Kupo. These rings will allow the group to contact Patches and make purchases when they become strong enough, Kupo. While talking to Patches, the group attempt to buy a firearm. His words alert them to the fact that he isn't just some NPC based off of Patches, Kupo, but the literal Patches. Memories and all from his original world. They also quickly realize that even though things exist in our world, they don't exist in this one, and to be able to purchase them, Kupo, they would have to design them to make them exist. Eventually, Patches and Pixie agree to trade her rowboat for one blank blueprint and a set of half-plate armor. The group also gets distracted when they notice Pius eating the ball bearings from earlier, Kupo. Pixie, having already left the shop, returns after the group spent several minutes discussing Pius's eating habits. She tries to offer Captain Flowers as a rowboat, but Patches refuses, Kupo, saying,
I'm many things, but slavery is a step too far.
After seeing a sign about a missing boy on the wall in Patch's shop, the party decides to go find him, Kupo. His parents' names are Ricta and Pyranicus. They realize the boy has no name. As in Tiefling culture, children earn their name based on their personality or some deed they've performed at some point. They often take a name of their choosing when they reach adulthood as well, Kupo. After the conversation with Patches, Pixie went back to her house, and when she gets there, she throws Captain Flowers into the rowboat and begins dragging it back to the shop. About halfway back, Nick meets up with her and uses a spell from their staff to levitate the boat, Kupo. The group gets distracted again as Pius mentions how Nick wears a maid outfit when they clean. Pixie finishes her deal with Patches and puts on her armor. The group, forgetting Captain Flowers in the rowboat at Patches, begin making their way to the house of Pyranicus and Ricta to ask about their missing child, Kupo. When Ricta answers the door, Everyone can tell she has a broken horn and has been crying, Kupo. As the group offers to help find her missing son, she fights back the urge to continue crying as she lets them in to speak with her husband. Pixie and Wrath stay outside on the porch to keep watch. The group creaks through the creaky, old house as they make their way to speak with Pyranicus. The party feels pity for them based on the lack of furniture and decoration in their home, as if they are squatting in the home, Kupo. When Pixie notices, she follows Ricta and gives her an outfit from her bag. Pyranicus attempts to give the party all the information he can, telling them that they had the misfortune of being at work as their son was playing with friends. From the children's accounts, a beautiful woman approached them from the forest, Kupo, offering gold if they followed. The other children were put off by the woman, but their son followed her, Kupo. It was on the edge of the forest to the north of Pallet, and no one lives in the forest to the north. Pyranicus tells them he fears a witch may have taken residence in the woods and lured his child away. After debates on how to proceed, Kupo, the heroes search the edge of the forest for tracks to follow. They find 3 separate sets while searching. The first set belongs to a pack of wolves, coming near the town but not entering it. The second are chicken scratch marks, far too large and far away from the farm. The final set appears to be a pair, an adult's and a child's. They decide the wolves aren't an issue, Kupo, and that the chicken tracks seem to belong to abyssal chickens. Everyone followed the tracks through the small layer of snow until coming across something strange. The tracks seemed to suddenly go 3 different directions, as if the pair of individuals had split into 3 separate pairs. Upon investigating, Kupo, they determined that 2 of the paths seemed to be magically replicated versions of the actual path the pair followed. Nick takes their time and uses prestidigitation to see if it cleans the tracks. By casting prestidigitation, they observe no effect on the first set. The second is swept away, and the last is unaffected as well. The party determines that following the path that had been swept away by the spell would be the correct course of action. Back on the witch's trail, the group notices another set of tracks that appear to have been left by the witch going a different direction from a trip she had taken some days before, Kupo. The group leaves a marker to remind themselves to check them after saving the child. After half a day's travel since leaving Pallet, they find an odd clearing. It's perfectly square, Kupo, with no snow or grass. It's empty of everything. Pius, wanting to test if it's an illusion, picks up a rock and chucks it into the center of the clearing. A resounding thud of rock on wood lets out from the center of the clearing, Kupo. After focusing, everyone except Pius manages to see through the illusion, Kupo. Pius readies to rush through and destroy the door, so he can see the inside and then rush the witch. The heroes put themselves in position, readying to assault the witch together. Pius hits the door and knocks it down, falling prone as he does, Kupo. Combat begins and she launches a bolt of fire, missing Pius as he falls. Pius stands back up and calls,
Where is the boy?
He launches a holy flame at her, but she manages to dodge slightly out of the way. Wrath moves into the doorway and produces lightning, Kupo. He lashes at her with it, pulling her toward him. Her body shakes from the charge through it, and Pius throws up a fist in the hopes of catching her as she's pulled past him. His fist makes contact with her chin, and between the force of her being pulled and the force of his punch, her head dislodges from her body, landing in the cauldron she had been brewing something in, Kupo. The boy, having seen everything, speaks to them in shock.
Does this mean my family won't get the money?
Nick takes the time to clean the viscera of battle from his allies before checking the house. Nick finds a large number of spellcasting components, Kupo, whereas Pixie finds hundreds of outfits in a magical wardrobe that's larger on the inside than the outside. Amongst these outfits, she notices 2 in particular that are made by the famous Giuseppe, each worth at least 20,000 gold, Kupo. As Nick and her roll up the clothes in a rope, the others take the boy from the house and begin their journey back to the marked spot on the path. Before leaving, Pixie decides to pick up and throw the cauldron through the door to the witch's shack to widen it, Kupo. The cauldron burns her and she reflexively drops it, smashing the fire underneath and spreading it to the house. Nick quickly reacts and puts the fire out with magic, Kupo. Nick assists her by levitating the cauldron so she can swing on it to launch it at the door. With the door now widened to get the clothes through, they move to catch up with their allies, Kupo. Check out our actual play lore videos, and don't forget to like, subscribe,
and obey.